Here's potentially an even worse conspiracy, though. I think they're writing Ramatra and Null Sector out of the story because Ramatra and all of Null Sector are Omnics, and they can't sell skins for Omnic heroes.
Hello, folks. Happy holidays. Hopefully, this gets out pretty fast, and that will be topical. Today we are going to be talking about a few things, including Vendetta. So I guess before we begin, say hello, Ian. Say hello to the nice people online.
What's up, everybody? This is Master Ian Gamer once again, joining my good friend Astro. And what are you calling this podcast now?
Astro Radio.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're switching it up. It's a name that we're gonna try. It's my first thought was, is this going to work? Because this podcast has nothing to do with space, but I don't know. You and Jazz insist.
I mean,
so we're gonna
historically, it's never had anything to do with big brains either, and yet you had big brain Boogaloo for the longest time.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. We all share a single brain cell on this podcast and pretend that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yes, we're going to try out that new name, and if it just ends up being confusing, we'll change it. If not, it's nice and simple. And, my suggestion was seldom soliloquies, but Jazz was like, no, that's like way too highbrow for the stuff that we do here.
If you think Astro Radio doesn't feel applicable to what we do here, I don't know how you think soliloquies in any way is fitting.
I mean, it is us just like talking to ourselves.
Yeah, but I don't know. I agree with Jazz on this one.
Okay, fine. So yeah. Today we're going to talk about Vendetta, the new Italian hero. She wields a big-ass sword. I like her a lot. I really like her. She's a lot of fun. So we're going to start with that. How about we start with... What aspect of this hero would you like to begin with, Ian?
I guess we can just talk about her gameplay front. I feel like that's a very simple one to start with.
That is a good idea. I think we'll start with gameplay. Take some water here. Yeah, okay, so... she's a melee hero, which is cool. We haven't had, like, a true melee hero since Brigitte. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, unless you want to count reworking Doomfist into a tank as, like, a new hero, but...
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. So yeah. Our first melee hero since Brigitte. That's pretty cool. She has some Doomfist to her, which I like. I do like that. She flings herself around and can go over rooftops and stuff like that, which I absolutely geek out over. So I've been enjoying that, and she's got good burst damage. It's definitely not like Doomfist levels, but it's pretty good. I guess we can talk about that, because, like, you and I both know exactly what I'm thinking of here, where it's like, oh no, the target has a harmony orb on them. I can do absolutely fucking nothing.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. But, yes, so I guess, I don't know, do we want to break down each individual ability?
I mean, if you want to get that nitty-gritty about it, I don't know that we need to. I mean, I feel like if you have something specific to say about each ability, then go for it. I don't think I do.
Okay, I mean, I guess I sort of do. first of all,
Okay.
we are recording this soon after they changed the thing where she came out and they were like, oh, we wanted to make her less clunky, and then they removed all her animation cancels and made her more clunky. So we're recording right after they fixed that, so now she's not clunky anymore, which is nice. I had exactly zero faith that they would actually fix that, but here we are. Good things do happen. So, yeah, I would say that her kit overall is very smooth. I do like it. I think the fact that they tuned down the little hop that she does midair is actually nice. I honestly would have preferred if it worked like the way that Junker Queen's axe upgrade works in Stadium, where to jump you have to press spacebar to leap forward, kind of like Hanzo or Lifeweaver. I think
So making it like its own ability mechanic, basically, instead of just part of
well, not
the sword swing.
no, it's part of the sword swing, but like the way it works with Junker Queen in Stadium is that while you're casting the ability, while she's like winding up the axe swing, you press spacebar or jump or whatever, and you just leap forward. It's not an ability,
But it's something you have to manually activate.
yes, it's an input.
Okay.
I think that's the one improvement I would like to see. But to go through her abilities, or yeah, that and her ultimate, but we'll get to that. Oh man, that I like the ultimate so much, but it's so finicky.
It's very strong too.
It's very strong and it's very finicky. But yeah, so I guess first of all, I really like the 1-2-3 combo. I love that. That's good. That's good stuff. I like that. It's interesting that they had the overhead like be so delayed. I was honestly kind of surprised by that decision, but it's not bad, and it is like an interesting skill shot because it's like the one part of the swing that you need to aim because it's not just like an arc in front of you. So that's something I like about it. It's simple. It's simple. It's not complicated. It's just a 1-2-3, and I'm honestly surprised by how little the 1-2 does. I figured that it would probably be more something like 60, but 50's fine, I guess. And the overhead as of right now does 130, so that's pretty brutal. It's what is the total? It's like 50, so 230, right? That's the total.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but that seems right.
If it's 50, 130, that's 230. Yeah. So that's pretty good. It's weird that they keep insisting on some weird like 20 HP breakpoint, but whatever. So yeah, we've got the 1-2-3 swing. There's the block, which I find really interesting. I like the block. I like her block. That's such an interesting idea. That it's like a resource meter that is like for the block, but is also for her one ranged attack.
Mm-hmm.
That's such an.
Yeah, I find it to be like when I found out she had a block, I was like, ugh, here we go, another character with a block. But like I have to give them credit that they actually found like a different, interesting way to implement it for her.
Yeah, because it's not a duration or anything. It's not like Hazard where you can only hold it for so long. You can hold that thing up all day if you want. It's just that you have a limited amount of damage that you can take. It's actually more akin to a barrier, where you can only have so much damage that it can absorb before it breaks,
Yeah, that's a good point.
instead of the alternative where it's a limited amount of time that you can have it up. So yeah, I mean it's. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of just want them to put an actual fucking barrier into the game again. Like God forbid, because like it's getting kind of weird and gimmicky at this point. Like it seems like they're trying to do everything except put a barrier in the game, which is
They do have a weird barrier phobia, and I think a lot of that probably is still residual from the double barrier era of just people people just have the idea that they hate barriers, even though they're just objectively not a problem like they were and never could be because of 5v5.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's a different conversation, but yeah, I like her block. I like her projected edge. Projected edge is a lot of fun. It's so much like they made it so much faster. It's so good. It's like actually it's like scary now to like actually. I imagine it would be scary for like an actual like flying character now because I can totally like land those on a Farah or a Juno or a Neko. Like even I can because it's fast enough. And
Yeah,
it does decent damage. It's what 80.
something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's decent. Yeah, I like that. I like that she can do that. She can like swap between a block and a shoot. Just like because like you need to put up the block to be able to shoot. I think that's cool. I like that. I think that's interesting that there's an ability that is tied to blocking. I sincerely enjoy that. So that's that. And yeah, it is a decent amount of damage negation. I think it's what 75%.
I don't remember. I'm not going to remember any like specific numbers for things like that.
Fair enough.
But I know it isn't. It's not overwhelmingly defensive. Is the other thing. Like
No.
it doesn't feel like you're blocking as Ramatra. And a lot of that just is because Ramatra has more health than her overall too. But like if an enemy Vendetta is blocking, it's not that hard to just burst through her block. She can't just stand there defensively holding it for a long time. She has to sort of quickly use it and then get out or, fall behind a tank or something like that. Well, because she's not going to be able to just hold it forever.
Well, especially since you can just CC her. It's not a barrier.
Well, even then, like
you can just rock her.
If it's at range, but like, okay, well, what if you're not playing Sigma? What if you're playing Soldier? What if you're playing Reaper? What if you're playing Junker Queen?
That's right. People play the fucking little squishy people. That's right. I forget about
people
that.
People play heroes without CC.
No, that's not true. Junker Queen doesn't have stuns. She can pull you, but she doesn't have stuns.
Yeah, but exactly. That's what I'm saying. She's not a CC character.
I do play Junker Queen, though.
Yeah, the pull, technically.
I do play Junker Queen, though. Junker Queen's one of my most played heroes.
And yet you didn't account for her fighting a Vendetta.
Well, actually, that's a brutal matchup for Junker Queen, because Vendetta blocks all melee damage with her block, which is funky. Like, that's so interesting. Like, it's this one hero specifically, her block specifically, negates melee damage completely. So yeah, no, like I was playing her like during the test, and I can tell you 100% I just blocked a Junker Queen's axe, and I was like, oh, that's gonna suck for me on the other end of this, because oh no, I'm getting no healing. So that's yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, she is like Doomfist, where it's like, if you have CC, she just eats shit. But that's to be expected. So that's the block. She also has the little spinning top move. I have the least to say about that. It's whatever. It's like I wouldn't even say it's particularly interesting.
No, it feels like a filler type ability. Yes. Where it in of itself, it's not interesting and doesn't do anything profound, but it overall helps to just flesh out her kit.
Well, I would say that's the difference, though, between something like, I don't remember what the name of the fucking ability is, and say like uppercut, right? Rising uppercut, because you had like Doomfist, who is very comparable to her in many ways. DPS Doomfist. DPS Doomfist had like a bunch of very simple abilities, but it was the way that you could mix and match them that gave him like infinite complexity. But I don't feel like Vendetta has that.
Yeah, I suppose I see what you mean.
Her moves do too much in of themselves. You know what I mean? Because I always said that DPS Doomfist was like playing a sandbox game. The limits of what you could do was largely determined by how imaginative you could get with the simple tools you were given. So yeah, I would say that's sort of what the spin reminds me of, is that it's like it's simple, but it locks you into like this very specific movement, and like you have to do weird techs like spinning into a wall to cancel it. It's really strange. I wish you could just fucking cancel that thing if you wanted to. If she just had the ability to just burst forward and then I could cancel it, oh my god, I would take that any day of the week. But instead, it's like I have to sit there like a spinning top, and it's really annoying. Those are my thoughts on that. It's I think the idea is that you're supposed to use it to chase, or you're supposed to use it to get out. Which, I mean, personally, I use it to get out.
I use it for that. I also use it as basically a glorified quick melee. And what I mean by that is there's a target in an area has like a sneeze worth of health left. Sneeze on them and they die. It can be a bit tricky to physically hit the target with your sword, especially if they're kind of far away. So you just blow in there with the topped whirlwind, and you're guaranteed to hit them and then kill them. I use it as a finisher, basically. A finisher and an escape tool. Those are the two things.
Because I've seen people try to use it as an engage, and I'm like, that's not a good idea.
That's not great.
That's not a good idea.
You don't really want to do that.
Because that's how it's used in like her gameplay trailer too. They use it as an engage, and as soon as I played her for the first time, I was like, you do not want to use this for that.
Yeah, you really don't.
That's a terrible idea. You're just running straight
It's like
into
Reaper's Wraith form in that way. It's like you don't engage with Wraith form.
Not if you're any good, no.
You escape. Use that as a tool to get away or just move around the map quicker.
So that's her spinning top move. I think it's bizarre that it's on a 10-second cooldown when it's...
It is. It's the really long cooldown on it I find very interesting. And again, I think that's where it plays into like the overall balance of her, because her more interesting ability, the actual jump do something ability,
6 seconds.
It's like a shorter cooldown. And so it's like you're using that more often, and then the weaker ability is the one you get to use the less periodically. I find that a fascinating design for her abilities, at least on the cooldown front.
Yeah, no, I could see that. And speaking of which, I love that ability, the throw the sword. That's so cool.
Oh yeah.
I think that's one of the best things about her kit is that move specifically. Oh, it's so fun. It's the thing that DPS Doomfist always wish he had, which was like vertical mobility that wasn't dependent on map geometry. Because like to get vertical mobility like that on DPS Doomfist, you had to do like bounces or diags, which granted were not hard to do. Like you could bounce or diag off of damn near anything, but you still had to like you had to like get close to geometry and like figure out a path, like pathfinding to get vertical mobility. Whereas with Vendetta, you just throw your sword upwards and there you go. So that's cool. It's I primarily like just the fact that it retains momentum. Like, you don't just, like, lose the momentum once you reach the sword. Because, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I would have almost expected them to do something weird like that. Where, like, they like, cut down the momentum immensely once you grab the sword. But no, you can actually, like, literally cancel even the jump as you're, like, going to to the sword. You can just like say, no, I don't want to actually go to the sword. I just want to gain the momentum. I like that. You can. It's a cancelable ability. Have you tried that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played around with different aspects of it.
So I do enjoy that. I like that it has a built-in overhead afterwards, and I like that you can store that overhead. Like you can, because I think the way it works is that it's not so much after you come out of the animation of the throw where it's the overhead. I think the way it's determined is like the next primary fire you use after you use her throw is always going to be an overhead. I think that's how it's determined. I don't think it's literally linked to the overhead literally. Or the throw literally. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the difference. But that allows you to do cool stuff like throw the sword and then do the spinning top move, and then you still have the overhead swing, and that's fun. Speaking of which, it also has that wacky property where you can like knock down flying targets.
Yes.
That's
dude,
fun.
I've gotten some amazing. The very first clip I used in the video I put out today is me taking down and ulting Valkyrie Mercy, just grounding her and then murdering her. It was the most satisfying thing ever, because she just pulled off her res too, and I was like, you piece of shit. So I chased after her and grounded her and murdered her. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, no, I
love killing Mercy.
And it's 130 damage too when you're doing it. It is not nothing. It's good. I love it. So that's a very cool mechanic that has. And then I guess that just leaves her ultimate. And
yeah.
This thing is so fun, but it's so finicky. I love the idea of it. It is basically Barrage 2.0 in the big 2025, which I'm like surprised that they would ever do again. I'm gonna
be a pretty good comparison, yeah.
I'm surprised that they would ever do that sort of ultimate ever again. But because she's just sleep dart food, like, or just any sort of CC, or heck, sniper food.
Yeah, even just focus fire. If they just have like a soldier and a cast and they both look at you when you ult at the same time, like they can just kill you before you can do anything.
And you don't have the damage resistance that Cassidy has.
No.
So yeah, it's very, very strong when you get it off, but like I would say it's inconsistent because you need to basically like surprise them with it. Surprise the enemy team with it.
Yes, it reminds me a lot of like early days with like Reaper's Death Blossom and Diva Bomb, where a lot of those were like successful in the early days of Overwatch because people didn't know how to like account for them or predict them. But then like nowadays, Death Blossoms and nukes are so predictable from the enemy that like it mitigates the strength of those ultimates. I think we're going to see that happen with Vendetta's ult as well. I think as time goes on, people are going to get better at predicting when she's going to use it, and it's going to become a worse ultimate because of that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I guess
but for now, it is quite strong.
Yeah. I've seen so many people say, like, oh, it needs an indicator on the ground, and I'm like, no, this thing is already going to suck in, like, 6 months. So yeah, I would say the next thing I would want to talk about it with it, though, is that it's finicky. Like, what it can and cannot hit is a little odd. And I think I've talked with you about this before, Ian. I know I have.
Yeah.
About how, like, sometimes I'm standing on a platform and I use the ultimate and it'll hit what is below me for some reason. And sometimes it won't. And sometimes it'll hit something that is directly above me, and sometimes it won't. I don't understand how the line of sight on this thing works. Especially since apparently, like, oh, if you it has a horizontal line of sight, so like I can't use it through a wall, so it's not like downpour. I can't use it through like a horizontal wall. I don't understand how this how this thing works, because if you see the animation of it, it is literally just a huge sword that comes downwards. So like theoretically, with how huge this sword is, if it's cutting through the ceiling, it should be cutting through a wall. But no, apparently that's not how it works. I have no fucking idea how the LOS on this thing works. It is
I don't know either.
it is it's so, and they have the indicator on the ground when like it's not going to hit the ground. It's really they need to change that, where like if the sword is not going to hit something, is going not going to hit that ground, the ground should not have the indicator on it. I don't care like if it like, oh, it's just a texture that they put over it. No, like just cut it off if it's not actually going to hit that.
It should be dynamic and account for what it will and will not hit, which is like, thinking about it from like a technical point of view, it's kind of disappointing that they just don't do that. I almost wonder if it's like deliberate that it doesn't show you exactly what it hits, which seems like a really stupid thing to make that deliberate, but
that would be unbelievably stupid.
which is why I'm like, why would they do that? But then like, it is that way though. So it's like, I don't know what to make of that.
I just never assume, you know, malicious intent when incompetence will do just fine. You know?
Never attribute to incompetence what can be explained by malicious intent. It goes both ways.
Okay, I guess. I've never heard that one. Yeah, so it's a weird ultimate, and I want them to make it more obvious what it can and cannot go through, and I want them to streamline. I want them to make it more intuitive, right? Like people are gonna say, "Oh, it'd be so busted if this was the case," but like, no, why does this just break the rules of like an overhead swing? Why is this not going through not going through like just short walls? Like, I'm not even talking a full wall, like a floor to ceiling wall. I'm saying like a cover wall. Why is this getting blocked by that? They should probably change that. I know people are gonna bitch and moan about that, but like, it's so unintuitive as it is now. It's I don't like it. But it makes up for the fact, with the fact that when it lands, it's one of the fucking funniest things that they've added to this game in ages.
So lethal.
It's so funny. So the 400. So first of all, I don't know how well people understand what this ability does. Because it seems like, well, granted, and I'm not just talking about the LOS, because I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't think anybody fucking understands how that works. But I'm more talking about like these like sunder effects that it has, because I honestly kind of wonder how many people are really aware of what this thing does. Because what it does is, and this honestly is, I think, the craziest thing about it. And I know that other people are going to say, no, it's the bubble thing, but I think this is the craziest thing about it. I think the craziest thing about it is the fact that it just gets rid of overhealth.
Yeah, it's a weird mechanic, because I feel like it's already doing 400 damage. That's already crazy damage. The fact that it also just deletes overhealth feels like an unnecessary effect of it. Like, it unfortunately in certain ways reminds me of Wu Yong's ultimate, where it feels like they're just tacking random shit onto it for the sake of tacking shit onto it.
What I mean, but I mean, that's what Wu Yang is. Wu Yang is just a bunch of random shit tacked together, because Wu Yang is a fucking advertisement strategy, not a hero.
And Vendetta, I think, escapes that for the most part. But for her ultimate specifically, that element of it just feels like, is this necessary as a mechanic? Does this really add much to it as a mechanic, like as an ultimate and an ability?
I think it 100% does, because it means you can go through sound barrier.
But that's like a single use case scenario.
Sure, but it also means that, like, if Junker Queen uses Shout, right? It goes through that. Or, like, Mauga with his Overhealth, it goes through that. Or
he goes through balls over health as well. But, like, those are very niche scenarios, and even in those scenarios, that's not enough to, like, one-shot any of those tank heroes that give themselves over health.
No, but it's enough to do a shitload of damage.
Yeah, so you're chipping that damage down more, which I guess is maybe that's why they gave it, so that she isn't as useless against tanks. Yeah. Because she has that same sort of issue that, like, Ilari's ultimate has, where it's like tanks have so much health that sun flaring, or whatever the hell her ultimate's called, I don't know.
Sunburst, yeah.
Yeah, like sunbursting an enemy tank as Ilari just does nothing, because it's like they just have the health to eat that damage. So it's just pointless against them.
So it's probably that. Like, because, like, this...
it's probably to help mitigate that same issue.
Because it also goes through barriers and bubbles, which, I mean, literally... And it goes through damage resistance.
Yeah.
So, I think the idea is that it's literally just a no fuck you tanks. I think the idea of it is the tanks are taking 400 damage. I think that's what it's going for.
At that point, why not just make it do a flat, like, 800 damage, say? Or maybe that's too much. Maybe just 600 damage. Because, like, either way, a squishy is getting one shot by that.
Well, I think the idea is that, like, oh, the bubble is still going to protect you then. You're still going to survive with a bubble.
Okay, in that scenario, yes. But with the overhealth, it's like, why not just add more damage to what it does, rather than give it a very unique interaction that only applies to, like, a small portion of the roster?
I don't know. I mean, with Sigma, a full grasp is like 800 health. Actually, that's 6v6. And 5v5, it's like 1,000 health. So, I guess, in that case, I guess it makes sense. Because, like, some of the tank heroes, when they have their full health, overhealth max, like, they're at crazy health amounts. I think with Mauga, it's like, because Mauga's what, 650 normally? He gets up to 800 at full overhealth. So, like, I can kind of see why they do it. And obviously, it allows for really funny interactions with Lucio, which is always welcome. You know, just the forced Ajax. Well, actually, no, it's even worse than an Ajax. He gets the beat off and then he dies anyways. So, yeah, I like that. The other thing is, as I said, it goes through bubbles, which is nuts. Like, it doesn't just destroy the bubble automatically. No, it destroys the bubble and then deals the damage. It's crazy. And as I said, it ignores damage resistance, so Orisa can't do shit to it. And it deals 50% of a deployable's max health before doing the damage. Like, do people understand how fucking crazy that is? And deployables include shields, just so you know. Any sort of barrier. Even Reinhardt's barrier that is attached to his arm is considered a deployable. So, when you use this ultimate against a Symmetra ult, it is going to do 2,400 damage. Which is insanity.
But it also just bypasses it, is the other thing.
And it bypasses it. Yes, it also bypasses it. But it not only bypasses it, it does 2,400 damage to the wall itself. Or, like, and it's like it instantly obliterates Lifeweaver's tree. Like, that thing is gone.
Just chop down the tree.
Literally just chops down the tree, which, I mean, is very fitting. So yeah, I love that thing. It's so funny because not only are you going to be like, are you as the tank going to be like, well, shit, that just went through that just ignored my shield. Oh, it also, it also destroyed my shield. So I can't use that anymore. So like as Sigma, I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, there, because like normally I would be like, okay, well that sucks. My shield is at like 50 health, but at least it's not gone. It's gonna regenerate relatively fast. Nope. It's gone. So that I almost feel like is maybe unnecessary. The fact that it just is like an extra fuck you to a barrier. But like at the same time, 2400 health to Sim's ultimate is so funny, even if it doesn't really do much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a psychological aspect to it.
Assuming you're even aware of that aspect, though, which I think most people probably aren't.
I mean, if you're Reinhardt, you're going to be aware of it.
I don't know about that. I think most Ryans are just gonna either die or have their shield explode and just never even like think about why that happened. And that's not even unique to Reinhardt players. I think that's literally anyone who's up against it.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're just gonna be like, "Oh, I died," and they're not gonna think about how or why they died. They're just gonna know the ult killed them.
The Orisa players are going to be confused though. They're going to be like, "What? I had like 50% damage resistance." No, you didn't.
They're just gonna assume it's like infinite damage or something.
Yeah, they're gonna assume some shit like that. I mean, that would be funny if they just made a move in this game that literally did infinite damage. Like, you just do infinite damage to one target.
Just an insta kill. Guaranteed insta kill.
No, just like power word kill, you know? In D&D. You just cast the kill button. I would use it. I'd use it. So yes, that is her. That is Vendetta. She also has this weird, funky passive that just like makes her swing faster. So that's cool. And yeah, and her perks are. I don't like talking about perks. I don't.
Yeah, she is one of the goofiest perks in the game too. The like revenge perk, where after she dies to someone, she now gets like a bounty on them, and if she kills that person, then she gets like a temporary buff. It's so weird.
Nobody uses it. It's
no,
bad.
it's objectively bad. It's fun. I accidentally selected it once, and it was actually fun because you're out there fighting, and you get a little icon above the person that you need to kill, and so it's like, ooh, it gives you an incentive to like go and kill them, which is fun because it's like a mini objective in the match itself.
Yeah.
But it is objectively bad. It's objectively worse than the other perk she can take.
I mean, I feel like if it did something like made her invulnerable for a certain period of time, it might be worth it. But it just like resets her cooldowns, and gives her overhealth. So
it's so minuscule, but like it's a fun idea. I almost wish they would. I feel like they threw it in as just like a throwaway. Oh, this is a fun idea, and didn't put much thought into making it an actually viable perk. I kind of wish they did put thought into it being viable. Yeah. Like, if they rework it into something that's actually worth taking at times, I think that would be cool.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they could. Again, I think if the reward was bigger, it would probably be viable. But I don't know how willing they are to do that. And also, it requires you to die, which is not optimal. But then again, as a melee hero, right, you die a lot. That's just inevitable. You die a lot. To be doing your job, you have to be on a razor's edge. Speaking of which, we should talk about that. So, the way you play this character. I mean, it's the second coming of DPS Doomfist, basically.
I think I tweeted about this at one point when she was coming out. Vendetta, to me, feels like they took everything they learned from making Doomfist over the years and used that to refine and make an even better version of a melee damage hero. She feels like a more refined concept of what DPS Doomfist was originally aiming to be.
Oh, I would disagree with that because she's not nearly as interesting as DPS Doomfist. Not nearly as interesting.
But interesting isn't the same as well designed.
I don't. I mean, I think she's not as well designed as DPS Doomfist at all. Not at all.
I don't think she's. I agree that she's not as interesting.
No, as well designed.
I love Doomfist. No, but I agree. In terms of well designed,
no,
I think she is better designed than Doomfist.
That's literally what I just said, Ian. I think that she is not nearly as well designed as DPS Doomfist.
I disagree.
I think that
I think Doomfist is more interesting.
Okay.
But Vendetta is better designed.
You see, I would just disagree with that because like DPS Doomfist allowed you to do anything, and that was like, or kind of anything. Your imagination was sort of the limit, and that's what was so.
And that's why he was poorly designed.
Really?
Because he hinged on the bizarro do anything, learn these weird techs that may or may not be deliberate as part of his kit of things he can do. Whereas Vendetta is like, okay, let's make this a hero that like is actually coherent to the average player.
You don't think DPS Doomfist was coherent to the average player?
Absolutely not. No way.
Really?
That's why he has the reputation he has. Nobody understands how he works. Unless you dedicate your life to Doomfist, you have no idea what that man is doing.
I never considered that.
Like that, I love that about him because it's funny. That's why I think he's a more interesting hero, but he is by far a worse designed hero because of it.
Okay, so maybe the difference here is that what I personally consider the fact that DPS Doomfist was just like completely off the wall in like just like what the fuck is happening, and like freedom in like just gives you so much freedom. It's janky, but I would consider that in of itself good design because like janky can be good. I think that's where our disagreement lies.
Yeah, I very much disagree with that because it's the same reason I despise Mercy's super jump.
Really?
Because it is janky as hell and clearly wasn't deliberate, but was so useful of a mechanic that you like had to know how to consistently do it in order to get the most out of Mercy. And I hate shit like that. It's like hidden forbidden knowledge where it's like you need to like do this stupid asinine exploitation shit in order to actually get good use out of the character. I hate that.
That's so
I
interesting.
hate that so much.
That's so interesting because I love that. I love that stuff. The arcane knowledge you have to understand.
I do not like it because I think it just intrinsically makes the character prohibitively it's gatekeeping the hero in a way that I don't like. Because there's normal gatekeeping, which is like you need to actually like be good at a hero, and arguably exploiting techs like that is being good at the hero. In the case of that hero like Doomfist and Mercy, yes, absolutely that is part of being good at the hero. But it's the fact that you're relying on... I think it really comes down to the fact that these are mechanics that I do not believe are deliberate parts of their character design and kit. These are accidental exploitations due to the bizarre nature of the hero itself that emerged without Blizzard intending for them to be there, but Blizzard ultimately left in because they realized they were fundamental for the hero to work remotely how they want them to work.
Okay, no, that's true. I understand that. It's just that personally, I consider that actually better than like whatever Vendetta does. I like that wackiness. That's sort of like unchained. Like, oh, this wasn't intentional, but it's so cool, and it's so jank, and it works. Like I love that shit. But I guess. Because that's sort of the issue I have with Vendetta compared to Doomfist. Because I look at Vendetta and I'm like, I just feel it's just a less liberating Doomfist, I guess you could say, without the like really funny aspects of Doomfist. But Yeah, I guess we could have an entire conversation at some point about DPS Doomfists. I feel like we absolutely could.
Yeah.
Um, Interesting. I had no idea that you felt so strongly about Tex.
I despise Tex.
Interesting.
Like, I have it's like Kiriko. It's a love-hate thing. I find them fascinating and I love that they exist, but I despise them.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Just like what you do with Kiriko, it doesn't make sense to me.
It's I don't know how to explain it beyond that. I hate Tex so much, but like I find them fascinating.
Do you hate Tex as much as I hate Perks? This is the question.
Probably.
Wow. Holy shit. All right. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that's a difference in like gameplay design philosophy because I quite like when shit goes wrong and the devs are just like, that's funny, leave it. So, okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's Vendetta. What about Vendetta's story? What do we think about Vendetta's story? Because I'm like,
Ooh.
like.
So you mentioned before that people are talking remarkably little about her story.
Yeah, despite the fact like how much they hyped it up, it's like, no, she's just sort of angry and vengeful, and that is what her name is. So, I don't know. Her motivations are not very interesting.
I would say the reason that nobody's talking about it yet, but it feels off to me. I assume you're familiar with the. Oh yeah, you're familiar with the leaks.
Of course,
because we've talked about the leaks before. I think the reason it feels off is because we haven't seen the culmination of her actual story introduction yet. As of the time of us recording this podcast, I might add. Because for all we know, tomorrow they're going to drop whatever ends up showcasing the rest of that. That could literally happen any day at this point. At this point, I'm kind of suspecting it's not going to happen until like January, but it could be whenever. We don't know. I think the thing is we haven't seen the big spectacular thing that we know is going to happen from the leaks. We haven't seen that happen yet. We've only seen the groundwork being laid leading up to that. And so for me, at least, and I'm assuming this is probably a similar situation you're in, it feels weird that people aren't talking about it because we know what's going to happen, but the average person probably doesn't because they don't know about the leaks, or even if they do, they don't really think about it or put much stock in it for whatever reason. And so all they have to go on is what they've shown so far for Vendetta, which is she was a gladiator. She had talent ties with what's his face? Antonio.
Yeah, her dad.
Yeah, that's like the extent of it. People aren't thinking about what's about to happen because it hasn't happened yet, which is why they're not talking about it. That's my theory for why that's the case.
I guess
in terms.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I guess my response to that is just that I think that the reason on top of that though is just because what they've shown us so far isn't terribly interesting.
No. Yeah, and that's basically what I was going to go on to, is that what they've shown us is nice because it ties back to Retribution and Antonio, which is a very favorably remembered part of Overwatch history. Like as like a game, not just like the lore specifically.
100%. That's my favorite mention.
And I think they are making it, like, in terms of like a marketing perspective, that was a really good idea to tie back to that because like they know people love Retribution and just all the old like PvE archive stuff. And so tapping into that for a new hero's backstory is a really smart idea. Outside of that, though, yeah, it's kind of the issue that I think a lot of characters have had that have been added in the Overwatch 2 era, where it's like you have like an interesting root nugget that's like the core of the character's identity and role in the story and backstory and everything, but then nothing is done with that. And I think Vendetta is just that again, where it's like, oh, that's like an interesting sort of origin, but then we don't explore her character enough or actual story events happening now because of that. So it's just kind of like, ooh, that's there, but then nothing happens.
Right. Yeah, I also almost wonder like if what we know is going to happen happens. Like I kind of wonder if that's even going to change much. Like,
See, that's why I am very fascinated about that too. I am really curious to see how not only how Blizzard themselves go about executing the telling of that story beat, but also how people are going to respond to it.
especially because of like if what has been said is true about like the Ramatra and Null Sector stuff, people are going to be fucking pissed if if this is actually what they end up going with.
Yeah. Here's a really quick note I thought of the other day. So obviously the leaks implied that Blizzard don't know what to do with Ramatra, and that's why they're writing him out of the story, which very well may be true. Here's potentially an even worse conspiracy, though. I think they're writing Ramatra and Null Sector out of the story because Ramatra and all of Null Sector are Omnics, and they can't sell skins for Omnic heroes.
Ooh. For once, I think I'm less cynical than you. For once. I think that I don't think it's that bad. Because honestly, I don't think there's that big of an inability to sell skins for Omnic heroes. I think
there is.
I think they just need to focus more on like the like fucking epic robot Gundam shit, and I think people will eat that up. But like, because like that new like hard light Ramatra skin, I feel like that's gonna do well. It's a pretty cool skin. If it was a skin I didn't have to open my wallet for, I'd use it. You know. So it's, but you know, because I'm stingy. I'm like one of those like principled people who refuses to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know most people aren't. Most people are going to be like, "Oh, that's cool. I want to get it," and then they'll use it, and then that gives Blizzard money. So, like,
I've seen very few people use that skin.
Really?
Very few people.
I don't know.
I think I've seen myself using it in more matches than other people using it in matches combined.
Wow.
I see very few people use it, and like again, it's like it was in the Ultimate Bundle. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like, I even that I think is representative because what released alongside it? It was the Ramatra skin and the Kiriko skin in that Ultimate Bundle.
And the Vendetta
and you know what I saw a lot of? You know what I saw a lot of last season?
What?
That Ultimate Bundle Kiriko skin. I saw a lot of people running that skin, nobody running the Ramatra skin, despite the fact that everybody who has either of those skins also has the other.
Didn't this skin come in this season's bundle?
No, it was last season.
Oh, well, all right. Shows how much I'm paying attention. They all blend
this
together.
This season is Vendetta and Tracer.
Oh, they all blend together to me. It's all just microtransaction slop.
No, I mean this is getting on to like a very different topic, so I don't want to get too tangential here, but I was thinking about it because again, I just put out my video talking about 2026 heroes. I wouldn't be surprised if we never see them add another Omnic to the roster.
That would suck.
It would, but I genuinely think we might just never see it happen again.
Because at some point, people are just going to be like, "Where's an Omnic?" Right?
People have been doing that literally forever. Since the game launched, people have been saying, why don't we get more Omnics? I don't think it matters. Blizzard doesn't care. Even old Blizzard didn't care. You think new Blizzard cares?
That's just so fucked because the entire story is about Omnics.
Not anymore.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why they're ditching Null Sector. They're like, shit, we can't sell skins for robots. We got to ditch the whole robot arc, make it Talon Overwatch again.
Omnics are the entire basis of the entire universe. The Omnic crisis.
Not anymore. I'm telling you.
This is a universe about the Omnic crisis. What the fuck? It's okay.
I very much think It might not be the main reason they're doing it, but I guarantee you it is a factor in it. The shift away from Null Sector and Omnix period is because they can't sell skins for robot characters.
What are we left with then?
Humans, duh.
But no, but like
Vendetta, muscle mommies.
No, but like
cute Asian girls.
No, but like the thing is that's if the thing with the Overwatch universe is that if you take all Omnix out of it, nothing interesting happens.
Correct.
It's
You're not wrong.
that's just like the story doesn't happen without Omnix. What the huh? This is like taking a storybook and saying like, oh yeah, the like main plot device, just we're writing it out. It's what? Huh?
I don't know what to tell you, but that is my crackpot cynical theory.
How can
which is that, among other reasons, they're writing Null Sector out of the story, and Ramatra is part of that, because it's harder to sell skins for robots than for humans.
How the fuck can they say that they're returning to a focus on, like, story if their plan is to, like, write out everything that is story?
Because they're writing a news story that's more palatable to a general audience.
Is the Omnic Crisis not palatable to a general audience?
Of course not, they're robots.
That always felt very palatable.
Like, the robots aren't real. Nobody identifies with a robot, unless you're me.
Robots are quite real, but just not sentient. But yeah, that would make no fucking sense. Overwatch has like literally like carried itself for almost a fucking decade off the back of people being interested in the robots.
Yes, it has. And I don't think Blizzard sees that as the best direction to go anymore. People are like, I agree with you. This is a bad direction, and I hate it. I want more robots. But I think Blizzard is looking at the success of other games, and they're like, these human characters sell skins very well compared to robot characters. We should be going more human rather than robot. I wouldn't be surprised if it also ties in with like the overall shift I've noticed, where the game feels like aesthetically and thematically it's shifting more toward fantasy as opposed to sci-fi, which this is like a whole other thing we could talk about as like a conversation topic.
Let me note this down. I think this is our first. I'm writing this down. This is our first topic for next year.
Yeah, this could be a good one. Take note. We should probably revisit this because we are getting horribly off track.
Yeah,
here.
we are.
So write that down. That'll be a topic for an upcoming episode.
But I mean, to be fair,
let's get back to Vendetta.
That's not entirely true because we're talking about Vendetta. Who's a very fantasy style.
Oh no, exactly. That's again. I think we should probably save this for a different episode. But I think Vendetta is like the epitome of we're going fantasy with Overwatch. Anyways.
Okay, well that's Vendetta's story. So that fucking sucks.
I think for story-wise, I am fascinated to see where they go with her. Like, actually go with her. Like regardless of the leaks, just what they actually plan to do with her. Realistically, probably nothing. Because as I've talked about cynically before, I assume I've talked about this with you, the story tab in Overwatch is just a marketing tool. It's not actually a resource for people who care about the lore.
Oh. Did you mention this? I feel like you did.
I've talked about this on stream for sure. I don't remember if I've talked about it with you specifically, but
I mean, I watch your streams usually.
Okay, so maybe you were. I don't remember, but either way,
I also usually am half zoned out because I'm like doing homework or some shit.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, you look at how they've structured the story tab, and it only goes as far back as Freya, and they just add in new major things, and it has a little flashy new icon every time there's a new comic or cinematic. It's literally just a news ticker. It's an in-game news ticker where they can use the flashy story content they make as like an advertisement in-game for new content. That's all it is. And they're trying to sell it as a refocusing on the lore when it's really just a news ticker.
I'm going to ask you this one question, and then we're not going to elaborate on it unless we do an episode on it, because I think this, but because this is a rabbit hole. But I think it's a question I need to ask, and I think I know what your answer will be. Is good storytelling and the free-to-play model just utterly and inherently incompatible?
They are mutually exclusive.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We agree. Yeah, they can't. You can't have both. You can't have a free to play live service and a good story. It's just not possible. Okay. Yeah. So that is that. I'd say we have time for one more topic here. So how about we talk about Stadium?
All right.
So, you had a very interesting video recently about your concerns with Stadium. And then another guy did his own video reacting to your statements on Stadium. And then I don't know if you ever watched that video.
No, I never did. Like, I ended up just, like, not really bothering because I got the gist of what it said from, like, what you talked about and reading some of the comments and just seeing what other people said about it. So, like, I was like, all right, I don't really need to, like, watch it because, like, I understand what it was.
Mm-hmm. And what are your thoughts?
On the video or Stadium?
Well, let's first talk about your thoughts with Stadium, and then we can talk about that. Because I understand that your concerns are basically that Stadium is just like taking over regular Overwatch, and I mean, I don't disagree.
Yeah, it's all right. Let's get cynical again.
Because I know we predicted
cynical.
this.
Let's stay cynical.
We predicted this like a year ago that this was going to happen.
Oh no, I literally called this when they announced Stadium.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm worried this is going to destroy the main game.
Yeah.
And destroy may be an exaggeration. At the moment, I think destroy might be an exaggeration. But it does look like it's just going in that direction.
Okay.
Stadium is consuming all the dev resources. And even this episode is probably going to get at least one commenter saying, oh, but there's 2 dev teams. You don't understand how dev teams work if you think Stadium's development doesn't impact core Overwatch's development, because they're both under the umbrella of Overwatch. There is an allocated budget, whatever that might be, that goes to Overwatch, and that budget has to be split between Stadium and core Overwatch.
Because they're not different projects.
Correct. The dev team, Stadium does have its own dev team, in quotes. You can't see, but I'm doing the quote finger things. It does have its own dev team. But do you know where that dev team came from? By taking developers from the core Overwatch team and sectioning them into a separate dev team.
Yeah, and they
didn't just hire a new team of developers.
Yeah.
That's not how it worked. There are probably some developers who got hired specifically for Stadium, but the vast majority of the developers who work on it are from core Overwatch. Also, the number of developers who work on both modes far outweighs the number of developers who work on only one or the other. The majority of each separate dev team, again, they're not like even that separate, are people that go back and forth between the two. People like QA, like QA testers, UI designers, effect designers, audio engineers. They work on both. They're not sectioned into only Stadium or only core Overwatch.
And let's be clear. Nowadays, that stuff is whack anyways, because if the Blizzard of 2016 saw the like polish quality of the average Stadium ability or the average perk, they would have a stroke. because it's the most. It just looks bad, but that's a different thing.
Yeah, no, I know, but I think that does tie into it, because another thing I didn't even mention in my video, and I wish I had mentioned it because I think it is actually very, very applicable, is over the past year, I don't know how much you've noticed this because you don't play as much as I do at this point, but every single new major patch that comes out, whether usually the new seasons, but also mid seasons and sometimes other little patches in between, break so many things. Whether it's mythic skins just stop working for some weird reason, a hero becomes so busted they have to be temporarily removed because there's an exploit where Diva is just unkillable because it's always Diva. It's some issue where like a game mode just like doesn't give you XP. There's weird graphical bugs. The lighting on a map is all screwed up. Random shit like that happens every season to a degree that we were not seeing a year ago.
Actually, this is a quick question for you. At this point, how many times do you think Diva and Ball have been disabled? What do you think the counter is at? What do you think the counter is at?
I don't even know, but a lot.
Okay.
A lot.
Continue.
All these issues are happening for a couple reasons. One, Blizzard fired like a ton of QA testers, like over a year ago at this point. So that's obviously like a major factor in it, but also the fact that that is now being split between core Overwatch and Stadium. Like, there may be a lot of overlap in terms of like effects and stuff that like will break in one versus breaking in the other, such that like whether or not a dev is working on Stadium versus core, I don't think matters. But I believe it is very much the fact that the development of the game is separated like that allows more things to slip through the cracks, because you might be tweaking something on the side of the game that applies to Stadium that then has an unintended side effect on core Overwatch and vice versa.
Right.
So that's like another facet of this split development aspect where overall the quality of the game is degrading by the nature of how they're approaching developing fundamentally two different games within the same game.
Well, they're also just like having to dump so many more resources into these fucking perk things. Like, how many resources are those taking up, right? Because they're basically like 4 new abilities for every hero.
Well, here's the thing. I think perks only exist because of Stadium.
No, they do.
And the reason is because they can tweak a hero's balance in core Overwatch by tweaking their perks without it impacting how that hero is going to play in Stadium. Because if you take a hero like Tracer and you're like, okay, we're going to do XYZ to her abilities and mechanics, that's going to have a knock-on effect in Stadium, at least on a technical level, if not a straight up. Because, you know, between core Overwatch and Stadium, there are like abilities that are like balanced slightly differently.
I feel like they should just be like that. Yeah, I feel like they just should be like that.
And yeah, like that is fine in and of itself if you ignore the fact that that's like an incredible amount of additional work just to keep track of the two. But the fact that they both exist in the same game environment means if you make a little tweak to Tracer, that might work just fine in core Overwatch and doesn't actually impact like a cooldown or a damage number for her in Stadium. On the technical side, it risks breaking something in Stadium, be that a power or special ability she has there that has like a weird interaction with a mechanic that worked just fine previously, but now that you nerfed her damage from 6 to 5.5, oh, now one of her powers has like a weird bug. Like that, they're spreading themselves so thin and are trying to work on things that are all interconnected on like a deep technical level that, regardless of which side they're touching, it has collateral effect on the other side. And I think that is a major reason we are seeing so many bugs every time there's a new update, and so many things end up breaking.
So what you're telling me is that, because like, and I understood what you meant when you said perks exist because of Stadium, because I was like, yeah, because they're just like taking the ideas that they had from the skill trees and then putting them into Stadium, and then they're like, oh, we can put those into the base game. But no, if what you're saying is that perks exist because Stadium makes it too hard for them to manage base game Overwatch. I don't know, man. I think you might have just made me hate Stadium.
No, I see that's the thing, because you look at it since Stadium released, at least half of the balance changes or like updates that have introduced balance changes for core Overwatch have only touched perks.
Yeah.
And like that seems weird that you would only focus on perks as a way of fine-tuning core Overwatch. But then you think about the technical aspect I just outlined, and it makes sense. They've introduced perks to be the knobs they can turn on the core Overwatch side to adjust an individual hero's balance without it having a knock-on effect on the Stadium side. And technically Stadium powers are the other direction of that, where it's like you tweak the Stadium powers of a hero in Stadium, and then you don't risk affecting how that hero performs in core Overwatch. So it's like both ways it applies.
We've reached a level of convoluted and stupid that is just like...
No, this is why I get why they didn't do this, because from a business standpoint, this would have been worse and harder to pull off, I think. And they almost certainly wouldn't have gotten the approval from like Blizzard and now Microsoft. Stadium should have been its own standalone game.
At this point, what?
It should have been its own standalone game, a separate game in the launcher. It's not like a glorified arcade type mode. Its own standalone thing you launch separately. That is what Stadium should have been. Then they can be fully separated, balance-wise. You can have heroes added to one, but not the other. You could have heroes that only exist in Stadium, but not core Overwatch. If, for whatever reason, it just works better to do it that way. They could have more easily just sectioned things in a way that had to make, or like it would have to make the development of both easier if they were separated. That has to be the case. But they probably didn't, because they can't just say, hey, we're going to launch a brand new game, Overwatch Stadium. We need to make it like this tumor growing off of core Overwatch instead. That's the only way we can make it fly. So I get why they played it out the way they did. It's just horrible.
At this point, I'm asking the same fucking question over again. Why even do it then? Like, it's just...
Because it's a new direction to take the game. League of Legends has been infinitely popular for decades. And they're like, we need to get in on that goody MOBA shit. I don't know. Here's the thing. I say all this. I don't hate Stadium fundamentally.
I don't either. I like Stadium.
Of the game, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's fun enough. I obviously personally don't enjoy it. I prefer core Overwatch, but I don't mind that it's a thing that exists in a vacuum.
Yeah, no.
Like, I am glad that there are people who genuinely love Stadium, because that's awesome. I'm glad you have a game you like to play.
I mean,
I just wish the game you like to play wasn't sapping the game I like to play.
That puts the situation I'm in even more ironic then, because the reason I like Stadium is because it's not core Overwatch with perks.
Yeah. And yet the only reason perks exist is because of Stadium.
Exactly. If that's the case, because the reason I switched to Stadium is because I just hate perks that much. Oh my god, that's wow. I mean, but that's the thing though. It's like, you say League of Legends has been going for decades, but like I feel like if the game had continued with support, like how much can we really say that TF2 has like completely disappeared? That's a hero shooter.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, League of Legends is still massively popular.
Yeah.
TF2 is not.
No.
TF2 has its niche fan base, and
yes.
It probably always will.
Always will. 100%.
But like League of Legends to this day is still a massively popular game that makes a lot of money. And Blizzard, I think, is looking at that, and they're like, we don't know how long this hero shooter thing's going to be working out, because let's be honest, 90% of hero shooters crash and burn immediately. And the things that made Overwatch specifically stand out and not immediately crash and burn are slowly withering away from both internal and external factors.
Well, yeah.
So I think that is a major reason where they're like, we need to get that hook into something that we've seen somebody else manage to make last long term and work well. And also, I think there's probably genuinely just an aspect of like developers maybe just want to do something new with Overwatch. Like they want to do something different, which like I can't even fault that. Like, sure, let's try something fun and different with Overwatch.
But
I can get behind that.
What I don't understand though is then like, because like because you say hero shooters crash and burn, and like that's absolutely true. But like Overwatch was the first one that really didn't. So what I don't understand is why cannibalize themselves. Like if it's like it's the thing that Halo did, where Halo was like, yo, we found out what works, and this goes really well in every game that we put out. You know, we might do like little tweaks to it, but like the core is the same, and it always works really well. But then like with Halo Infinite, they were just like, fuck it, throw in some shit, and Halo 5, but Halo 5 did it a little differently. But with Halo Infinite, they just were just like, grappling hooks, and now everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? And that's just sort of, I feel like Overwatch is like making that same mistake, where it's like, Overwatch found something that works. Why are you just like, and like worked for ages, just like with Halo, why are you now suddenly like forcing some weird change on it? Like it's just, honestly, it's the same thing. It's the same thing I always say about perks. I just don't understand this philosophy. It fundamentally makes no sense to me.
I think it is a very business philosophy where it's like, we may have something good, but what if it was better? Like, I think it kind of boils down to that.
That feels less like business and more like arrogance.
I think there's a lot of overlap.
There's a lot of that's true. There is a lot of overlap.
Yeah, I don't know. Stadium is kind of a tricky one to talk about because like I can't hate it fundamentally.
Yeah.
I think it is a neat thing for the game to have and a neat direction to take the world and characters and the mechanics we're already familiar with in Overwatch, and it is fun in its own right. But it has a lot of knock-on effects. And I think the execution of Stadium was subpar. Specifically with how they didn't make it a separate standalone game. And we've seen Blizzard make a tremendous marketing push for Stadium over 2025. Like, Stadium has been the thing of 2025 for Overwatch. They named a season Stadium Quick Play. I'm never going to forget or forgive them for that.
Why? What is that about? I probably didn't play that season.
The name of the season. What do you think? If you were to name a season, if you were to name our current season, what would you name it?
I wish I was playing Overwatch 1.
Okay, but like, think about it from the perspective of like, what do you? I don't know. Maybe this isn't going to work. They named a season Stadium Quick Play, and I don't know if there's a way to explain how stupid that is.
Wait, huh? This wasn't a game mode. They named a season that, just like with like the fuck, what was the last one called? I forget what it was called. I forget they have names. Okay, I see what you mean.
Here,
because I thought what you meant was that there was a season that was named after a game mode.
I just sent you the official trailer for season 18. What is the name of this season?
Stadium Quick Play.
In the trailer.
Oh.
That is literally the name of the season.
Oh. What the fuck? I honestly have not paid enough attention to this at all. That's...
They literally named a season Stadium Quick Play.
Wow.
That is how hard they are pushing the marketing of stadium.
That doesn't even make any sense. Those words don't make any sense.
No, they don't.
There's a quick play mode to stadium. I know that. But, like, this just...
And it was added in Season 18, which is why they called Season 18 Stadium Quick Play.
This just feels like two buzzwords that they just, like, taped together.
Yes. That is exactly what it is. This is SEO.
We're living in hell, dude.
Like, this is like the... I thought it was bad when they called the Kiriko animated short
Kiriko. Yeah, that was bad.
That I saw that and I knew we were headed to hell. And here we are.
Oh my god, we've made it to fucking Tartarus, dude. This isn't just hell, this is advanced hell.
The marketing for Stadium has been astronomical, and I get it. They've put a lot of development time and effort into Stadium, and they're banking on it to be what holds Overwatch through into, like, the future.
It's not. This isn't going to save it. You need a
See, that's the thing.
You need a solid game. You need a game, Blizzard. You don't need gimmicks, you need a game. I don't understand what they don't understand about this. This is what games have been doing for decades. The way you make a game successful is by making the game good. It's not by adding gimmicks.
And this was a major part of my video, where I had my poll, the infamous poll.
Yeah, listen, I still think that poll was stupid. I'm sorry, that's bad science, but yes.
Sure, but my viewership is a fairly general...
Yes.
Like, scope of the Overwatch player base. Of course, it's not applying to everyone. Of course, there are people who are disproportionately over and underrepresented in this poll. Of course. But it's a poll. I'm trying to get a general idea. And when the general idea, for at least my audience, which as a news channel is a pretty evenly spread audience of people.
I guess
it's not like I'm a dedicated Stadium channel or a dedicated top 500 channel.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I hadn't considered that because, like, your channel literally is just like what's in the shop this week, people. What slop is there to buy on the menu this month?
Right, and you know who buys skins?
Everyone.
People who play Stadium.
Yeah, everyone.
And people who play Core Overwatch.
That's true.
So no, my poll is not going to be a perfect representation of the Overwatch player base, but I think my audience, I very much believe this, that my audience is a more accurate representation of the average Overwatch player than most other channels who have been engaged with this.
That's probably true.
If you have a dedicated Stadium channel, then of course everyone who watches you is going to like Stadium. Like, sure. But, like, I don't make anti-Stadium content. I make general content.
You make the most general content. You make content about the content that isn't even in the game because it's in the shop.
Yes. I feel like the only person who might have, like, an even better general would be, like, Omnic Post, since he also does Stadium content. I would love if he did a poll like this and see what he got as results.
Yeah.
But even so... my goal was, like, I'm curious how many people genuinely just prefer Stadium over Core Overwatch. And, like, I wasn't even planning to do the video when I did the poll originally. I made that video because of the poll results, which shocked me. Because I see people talk, in my own audience, I see people talk about Stadium all the time. They play Stadium, it's all they play now. So I was like, all right, a lot of people really like Stadium. And that's in my own audience. People I see in, comments of videos and live stream chat and stuff. And then I do a poll of that same audience and get this result. An 80 to 15% distribute. Like, that was insane to me. So insane I had to do a video talking about it.
Okay.
And granted, I did a bad job of framing the data in the video. I'll admit to that. But
you did.
It doesn't change the fact that we see a preference which I firmly believe is very widespread, even beyond my own channel, of people still preferring Core Overwatch. Somebody brought up, I saw a number of people bring this up, actually, because there's a lot of discussion, let's put it nicely, about this topic after I put my video out. And a lot of people brought up the interesting fact basically in like defense of my side of saying core Overwatch is way more popular, which is that if Stadium was insanely popular, Blizzard would probably be talking about that more.
Yeah.
They'd be talking about Stadium player numbers. They'd be talking about the percentages of people who play Stadium. They'd generally be gloating more about the success of Stadium, which is something we haven't really seen them do since season 16, which is when Stadium first launched. So I think that is worth considering. Granted, we're talking about the absence of data as opposed to, anything particularly useful. So you can't say anything definitively with it.
Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
Yeah, but it is something worth considering because, it often correlates to something like that in this type of context.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I if anything, this reinforces my point. I feel slightly vindicated because what this tells me is that, like, yeah, people do understand that, like, what matters is that the core game is good, not the fucking weird gimmicks that they try attaching to it. Like, if the core game isn't good, people aren't going to stick with it. Like, it's because, like, people have stuck with core Overwatch through, like, a billion years of shit. It's just like, listen, the game is, like, not nearly as good as it once was, and yet here everyone's still, well, not everyone. It's basically the ship of Theseus at this point with a lot of the player base, but it's like
in every way, I would say dev team, player base, story, game.
But it's like people have stuck with Overwatch because of the core game mode, because they like the core game mode, not because of Stadium. Like, I don't understand this logic. It's like, you literally have seen that for almost a decade, this thing has been working. There's no signs of it not working anymore. There's no evidence of that. You just want to, like, tack some shit on because the number go up. I don't know. Like, it just makes no sense to me. It's bad business, if anything. It's like looking at something that works and being like, oh, we can fuck up our revenue streams by, like, screwing up what people like and making something they don't. It's just like, I don't get it. I didn't go to business school. I don't want to go to business school. I have a soul. But it just makes no sense to me.
I wish I knew what their overall goal with Stadium and all this is. Like, obviously, anything I say about them wanting to copy League of Legends is speculation based on their behavior and what seems likely. But I do wonder what their long-term goal is. Do they want Stadium to supplant core Overwatch? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, as the saying goes, within the legal sphere, allegedly, right? But it's like, I don't know what they're trying to do. Because none of it makes sense to me. I look at it and personally, I look at what they do with Overwatch, what they've been doing with Overwatch since basically Overwatch 2 launched. And every day I look at it and I go, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you ruining everything you could feasibly ruin? And it just makes no sense to me, but that's just me. Like, that's anecdotal. So I don't understand what the fuck they're doing. There has to be some reason behind it, and it's entirely possible that reason has just flip-flopped over and over again, This is a free-to-play game. There is no, like, actual, core values to it. It's just a money machine. So I don't know what they're doing. It's, when the machine is soulless, the machine is just going to do whatever input it's given. And so I don't know what input they're giving right now. You know what I mean? Am I being cohesive here or am I rambling?
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. When there's no core tenet to, like, the direction a game is supposed to go to, and the devs don't have one, their goal is only to make money and, like, nothing else, then their direction is it can flip on a dime. And so I don't know what they're doing. Because I know that's the case. This game has no actual direction. It's just a money machine. So I don't know what they're doing.
They're selling Kiriko skins.
Yeah, they are selling Kiriko skins. If that's the direction they're going, at least they're doing that well. But that's not a game. That's the thing. That's a gotcha. That's basically a gotcha. It's not.
Yes.
That's not a game.
And what makes money? Gotchas. Gambling.
It's not even bro. Video games aren't even video games anymore. They're just like
no. They're fancy slot machines. Is all they are.
Slot machines. I think you mean slop machines with a P. It's
they're one and the same.
It's just like
I'm surprised I've never seen that. Someone say slop machine in like slot machine, but slot machine. That's a really good term. I'm shocked I've never heard that before.
I'm gonna start calling Overwatch 2 that the slop machine.
You gotta coin it. Coin it. Did you hear that the word of the year for 2025 is slop?
No, I didn't, but that's fitting.
Yeah. Just heard about that yesterday. I was like, yep, fitting.
So, yeah, it's because that's the thing. Like, there's so many games that are not slop that are so good, and none of them are Overwatch, and none of them are anything that is like Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we live in Genshin, Overwatch, Fortnite, Marvel Rivals hell, right? It's just
we should do an episode talking about Genshin one of these days.
I've never played Genshin. I never intended.
I've never played it either. I just find it fascinating. In all the worst ways.
In all the worst
of course.
Ways. So that's Stadium, I think. I think we've talked to death about that.
Yeah, and I do want to reiterate that, like, for anyone who likes playing Stadium,
like
more
me.
Power to you. Like, yeah, like, I get it. I easily see why Stadium is way more appealing to a lot of people than core Overwatch. And I think that's fine. I think it's great even that there are people who like Stadium, because I would rather there be people who do like it than not. Yeah, if they're putting this many resources into it.
If they're going to force it this hard, right?
But at the same time, obviously, Stadium development has an impact on core development. On every level, it has an impact. And we've gotten one new map over the past year in core Overwatch.
Yeah.
One new map.
Yep.
Yay.
And it's not a good one.
I disagree. I like Atlas.
Really? I'm just like...
Yeah, I like it. I think it's the best Flashpoint map.
Really? My favorite Flashpoint map is Junk City.
I like both. I think Atlas is better, though.
All right. I mean, I can tell you I fucking hate whatever the...
Servasa?
Servasa. I hate Servasa.
Yeah, that one's definitely my least favorite of the three. I like Junk City, and I like Atlas, and Clash cannot exist, please.
Honestly, I kind of wish neither of them existed. But
no, the only maps I want gone are Anubis and Hanaoka. I despise playing Clash. It's the only mode. Like I don't know about comparing it to Assault from back in the day, but like currently the only modes I want gone, which is really funny that it is that as well. The only mode I want gone is Clash. I don't mind Push. I don't mind Flashpoint.
My problem with
they're not my favorite modes overall, but I don't mind them enough that I want them to be gone. I do want Clash gone. I don't ever want to have to play Hanaoka or Throne of Anubis ever again.
My problem with Flashpoint is just that like it's just Halo's King of the Hill, but not done as well.
I mean, maybe I don't know how that works in Halo, but
it's like a moving objective that you need to stand within. That's how it works. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah, Clash sucks. I agree. Clash sucks. Clash sucks so bad that it makes me like Push.
Here's a theory. Stadium might be getting too much hate, actually, from myself and others, over there not being any new maps added. I think it is also very possible that Blizzard is deliberately putting core mode maps on hold because the past 3 years of map additions people have hated. Be they Clash, Flashpoint,
Push.
Antarctic Peninsula, which they removed from the game.
Yeah! What the fuck is that? Listen. One of those points is really bad. The other two are, like, fine. It's like, they're not great, but they're fine. I just...
Yeah, I agree. It's not the best map. I like it overall. I think it's, for the most part, a good map. And, like, if they want to rework it, then fine. But they removed it from the game while they're reworking it? That is wild to me.
You can't even play it in customs?
No, it's gone from the game.
Holy shit.
They just full Thanos snapped it out of the game. It's not even there. And, like, part of me suspects it's because since it's going to take multiple seasons for it to come back, it's going to be like 2 seasons until it comes back. Part of me theorizes it's because they don't want a partially reworked version of it accidentally getting pushed to live servers. Like, because we've had that happen before.
It has?
There was, like, way back in Overwatch 1 when they were reworking Horizon. That happened at one point. They accidentally leaked, like, the partially reworked version of Horizon.
That's right.
That could be accessible via, like, custom games through some, like, exploit.
Yes. Oh my god. Wow, that's bringing me back.
I'm guessing it's something like that is the reason. But they've reworked maps in Overwatch 2. They reworked, like, Numbani, I specifically remember. I forget which other ones got reworked. And they didn't take those maps out of the rotation during that.
Dorado.
So, like, Dorado was another one that got reworked. But that one was never taken out. No, Numbani and Dorado weren't taken out. They were left in, and then when the rework happened, they just changed when the rework happened. They didn't remove them, which is why it feels weird that they feel the need to remove Antarctic Peninsula right now.
What the fuck are they doing?
I don't know. It's annoying. I don't understand why they're doing it this way. But
listen, that map with the drill is terrible. But the one that's like underground and the one that's like on the boat are like not amazing, but largely inoffensive. It's like,
yeah, I quite like the underground one. Actually, that's my favorite of them.
Yeah, that's my favorite as well. It's just that one that's on the drill rig that's insufferable. But
yeah. I wouldn't call it insufferable, but it is definitely the weakest of the 3.
Listen, at least it's not Ilios Ruins. Oh, God.
They're never going to rework that.
No, they never will, and I wish, but that very rare case of I wish they would. Fun fact, that was the 3rd map I ever played Overwatch on.
It's amazing you remember that. I have no idea what the, early... I don't know what the first map I played on was. I have no memory.
The first map of Overwatch I ever played on was Gibraltar. Yep.
Back when it had that extra capture point?
Yep.
God, that was wild.
That was wild.
There was an extra checkpoint. It was only there for 2 months.
Yep.
And then they just got rid of it. It was so weird. I
remember it because I was playing Bastion on attack. That was my first ever match of Overwatch. Yeah, okay. Well, that's interesting that I guess Horizons has also been snapped out of existence, but
yup. But that one never came back in Clash.
But technically less so than Antarctica, because Antarctica you can't even play in a custom game. So
no.
What the fuck are they gonna do? What are they doing to this thing?
Is Horizon the only map that has never come back?
Yes.
Because we have Clash maps for Anubis and Hanamura.
Yep.
Stadium has Paris.
Yep.
I think Horizon is the only map that never came back.
I imagine they'll do that in the future, though. It's free.
Maybe.
Assets.
I'm imagining they're going to do a Mars map that reuses a lot of the assets.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And then who the hell knows what's going on with Peninsula? I mean, if we want to get fun conspiracy, it's possible they're planning to put new hero teaser stuff in it, which would be an extra reason they don't want it to leak, and is maybe why they're taking the extra effort of just fully removing it instead of risking that.
That would make no sense. That makes
I
zero
mean,
sense.
yeah, it's not. It doesn't particularly make sense. But if you want to have like an optimistic spin on like, ooh, maybe there's something cool that's gonna happen.
Listen, if Overwatch 2 has taught me anything, it's that if it's a Blizzard IP, you should never in a million fucking years be optimistic.
Nope.
So, yeah, isn't it so great that the series that was originally all about optimism is now the most cynical, soulless, nothing to look forward to piece of fucking shit. It's just, oh my god, how? Because yeah, you watched that video too. Yeah, that's right, you did. The one that mentioned that the Kiriko short was called Kiriko. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I was so glad because I've like never seen anyone else ever bring that up, and how ridiculous that is that it's just named Kiriko. So when I saw them mention it in the video, I was like, "Thank you."
That's such a good video.
It's great. That was a phenomenal video. I'm so glad you shared that. Or was that you that shared it? Or was it somebody else?
It was Jazz.
Okay, it was Jazz that shared it. I'm glad she shared it then because that was a great video. I posted it on my Discord as well for more people to see.
Kiriko is Overwatch 2 incarnate is so good.
Mm-hmm.
She pretends to be substantial and just sells skins. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're at an hour and 45 minutes, and I said this was going to be an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've sort of come to a conclusion. We can save that third topic for a future episode.
We have I wrote down the topic about sci-fi and fantasy and more omnics.
That'd be an interesting one to delve into because I've been thinking about that recently.
So we should talk about that because like for once it'd be nice to just have a topic that isn't like super time constraint related. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Especially since just, my schedule is the way it is. So, yeah, I think that's all we got. You got anything else you want to talk about last minute here, Ian?
Have you ever considered streaming these live?
To who?
I don't know. Whoever would want to watch.
Actually, I guess if we with the collab function, would that mean that it would show up? Would a live stream show up on your subscribers too?
Can you don't know how that works.
Collab a live stream?
I know you can on Twitch. I don't know how it works on YouTube that way. We'd have to look into it because that would actually be kind of cool if we could do like a stream that way. Because I mean, like, if we wanted to just get people to watch it, then it would make sense to stream it on my YouTube channel. But like, it's your podcast, so like you should have it on your channel.
Yeah.
And like I could promote it certainly to try to get more people to watch it, even if it's on yours. But
I mean, the last episode got like a couple hundred views, which is like about the same views that you have while streaming.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's worth considering. Maybe if anyone's watching this far into the episode, they can give their feedback in the comments below if they think this would be an interesting thing to stream live, because then we could also like see what chat has to say on any like given topic and ask them stuff.
That's a good idea. I like that. Yeah, we should.
I think that'd be and it would also ease up the editing for you because then it's just instantly there and you don't have to edit at all.
Yeah, thank God. These take me
why
like,
a lot of people do it that way.
these take me like 4 days minimum. So
man, you just gotta hard focus. Just as soon as the recording's done, as soon as we end the call, hop into editing and get it cranked out in like 4 hours.
I was gonna play Vendetta.
Do you need to play her for like footage?
Yeah, I have no good footage.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I guess you kind of have to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, these take a while, so I can't do them too often. So yeah, live streaming would be fun. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. So, do you have our?
All right.
Do you have our like a little closing quotation for everyone, Ian? What do you got for us tonight?
I can't say this one, unfortunately.
I mean, it's on my channel, not yours.
No. That wouldn't matter. It would be bad.
Okay.
I got nothing.
All right, for the first time, I'm gonna have to come up with one on my own. Stop the slop.
Stop the slop. Stop the slop. Kiriko, you later.
Yep. Ending it there. Bye. Say goodbye to the nice people, Ian.
Oh, I thought that was my goodbye.
No, say goodbye to the nice people.
Kiriko, you later.
Ugh.